And Mike and Butch and I are going to build an awesome car that everybody thought was dead. What was the interesting piece of history about your great-granddad as the first three-time winner of the Indy 500 that most likely attributed to his wins?
Well, he had 6 toes on his throttle foot.
The tacked-together framework of a Watson Roadster.
Yes! So we want 3 pedals. We're going to have to do something fancy with your feet way off to the side because it'll be next to the motor. Do you have 6 toes?
No.
3 balls?
Could be.
What's up, people? So I'm here at Legacy Autosport in the Indianapolis, Indiana area, and behind me is the Pro 2000 from On the Road to Indy that I ran at the Griffiths test at Indianapolis last year. Now the thing about it is, you guys are wondering, have I been testing and am I going somewhere with it? No, because that's the old chassis. It doesn't have the halo, that big thing that protects your noggin if you do something stupid. So we're still waiting on that tub thing. But today, a very special car Mike and I are going to go get. Right now it's just a chassis, but it relates to what I think is largely the pinnacle of Indy 500 history. I was kind of just hanging out today to go get this car, but I couldn't stand to not be slightly useful in the shop, so I was like cleaning up some shavings in the machine shop area, just trying to be nice. You guys remember, here's the Dynon built V10 BMW engine that's out of the Genius Garage Daytona prototype. We're waiting on a few parts and such, and then that'll be going back together. So I'm really honored and happy that Butch is helping out with that with the team. But you guys can see the old tubs here, which is the carbon fiber monocoque cockpit area, the side pods, the engine cover as well. And I'm going to make a plug. So if anybody wants an awesome simulator to wear a VR and put your pedals and steering wheel on, these are awesome, and we can't use them. So you can buy them inexpensively. So email me through somewhere or private message me if you're interested. So here's Scott's new L206 cart. It's a nice used cart. I'm looking forward to having him out. So if any of you all want to get involved with kart racing and you're in the greater Ohio area, my home track is Fremont, Ohio, so that's northwest. I'm going to be racing, Scott's going to be racing, and one of the young men from Genius Garage gets to as well. But if you come on over here, I want to show you. So here is the sprint car that is now Genius Garage's. Now this engine actually is coming out. That's going to be for Mike's sprint car he's building. And we just took the vinyl and such off. But what happened was the engine that was in the Genius Garage Reynard Champ car, or Indy car from the year of the split, and it was kind of ridiculous, and that's the one we're doing the K-Series Honda swap on for the IndyCar, the Champ car chassis. So we've got this 410 engine. Well, it needs to be rebuilt, but Butch was talking about that, and obviously an awesome engine builder. So he's going to help Genius Garage out and rebuilding the engine. I was talking to Mike. I'm like, what do we do with it? I'm like, well, it's a 410. How much does a sprint car cost? So bought this really at a great price. It's a J&J roller. Mike, how old? It was about like 91. I think it won a track championship, never got wrecked, so it's a really good place to start. And I was excited about it because, you know, the engine we had when it came out of the Indy car was making like 840 horsepower at the wheels on gasoline. And we're going to put it in this, which weighs less than the Indy car on methanol, so it'll be making more power, which will be wild and exciting. And there's a lot of people, obviously, sprint cars are very rural America, Midwest. This one runs in the dirt or the asphalt. And so people kind of thumb their nose at it. And obviously we have some really techie cars, the Daytona prototype, the Lotus Exosphere, but there's still a tremendous amount of information students can learn from having a sprint car around. So I think there's great value in that. And just the engineering and technology goes into it. You can see aspects of where they kind of evolved from back with, you know, sprint cars and Indy Roadster days, which might be another hint. But come on over, let's take a peek at the monocoques going on over here. I want to show you guys the halo hoop for protection. So this is the car that Simon Sykes is going to be driving in the USF 2000 series this year, getting ready to go testing. Looks great. It's definitely one of those challenges of racing, and one of those things that I think I can say this, I'm still saying it nice. One of the drag about running a Spec series is you have to have their stuff. We can't just go out and build our own thing. So we're kind of at the mercy of the world right now. So here's the halo. It weighs a lot. It's built really nicely. And you can definitely see how it's engineered to deflect load and impacts and such. So I'm definitely an old school train of thought when it comes to things like racing motorcycles and sprint cars and doing kind of the old macho thing, and like the best safety is not screwing up, but definitely a value to this. And especially me being a married man, it's nice to get in a race car and not worry about it, but this thing is pretty darn heavy. So that's sad. I just wanted to show you guys that. But Butch's sprint car is looking really pretty. I'm looking forward to getting out with him with the Midwest Throwback Series. Working on finalizing the schedule and such right now for the year. And of course the Genus Garage car. I think that'll be really neat to have out there too. So we're going on an adventure. It's very snowy outside and cold. And I drove all the way here with my truck because we're going to get a very cool chassis today, allegedly. And Mike and Butch and I are going to build an awesome car that everybody thought was dead. So Mike, can we get lunch first? Do you got any cool cryptic things you want to tell people about what we may or may not be doing or our adventure we're going on?
We're going to undisclosed location.
An undisclosed location.
In a back garage.
Back garage, huh?
Yeah, it's got a lot of historic stuff in it.
You said that kind of funny. Okay, all right, well, and this is a good idea?
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen pictures of what it is that I'm buying.
You're gonna like it.
Okay.
It's cool.
So, Mike, we're all doing a project together, and I'm the investor. I haven't seen any pictures. I'm totally going by hopes and dreams and what you told me.
But you have to imagine what it will look like.
Oh, I know what it's gonna look like.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Yes. All right, let's get lunch.
Yeah.
Isn't that like Winnie the Pooh's like second best line?
Well,
How about lunch?
fat kids got to eat, so.
Let's go. All right, you guys, we are at an undisclosed location within about, I don't know, 3-4 mile radius of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Now, first of all, this is not what we came here for, but this is a really cool sprint car, Mike. What's that thing?
I think it's a Shores frame. It's got little zoomy headers and stuff on it. Pretty cool, cool old car. I think it's like early 80s, maybe late 70s.
I dig it. And Mike is wearing his shop Crocs. Shoes.
Yeah, I made a mistake.
He made a mistake. That's not the only mistakes made on the way here.
Yeah, I know. You sent a dick pic to your father-in-law?
That's not exactly true. That's not what happened.
Oh, you're talking about getting stuck.
Yeah, buried the truck in a ditch.
Yeah.
So we should talk about this alleged dick pic that didn't happen. Okay, so you guys all remember that GIF? Bunch of wieners just flying through the air and smacking this girl in the face and her like nose jiggles. Well, that's a classic GIF, and that comes up in conversation with guys now and then. And I was going to show it to these guys, and to search for a GIF, you got to type in something. I typed in Wiener's face, and I went to push enter to search for it, except I sent it. And I sent it to my wife, and I'm like, oh, damn, I didn't mean to send that. I was looking for a GIF, so then I sent the actual GIF of the wieners hitting the girl in the face, and then it was just an LOL, and I looked down, I'm like, oh, shit. I sent my wife. I sent it to my father-in-law. He seems to be a good sport. He's never seen that GIF before.
That'll be topic of conversation next family outing.
They want to see why we're here.
Yeah.
You are the great-grandson of Louis Meyer.
Yes.
Who was first a mechanic at Indianapolis, Indy 500 in 1926.
Yes.
And he won it in 28.
Yes.
And in like 27, he got, screwed by Duesenberg, who was going to let him drive a car he built?
Yeah, he relief drove in 27 for Wilbur Shaw, and Wilbur got sick, and so they said, hey, Louis, you have driving experience. He was driving on kind of dirt tracks and doing jalopies.
Yeah. And
so they put him in the car, and he actually got up into the top 5. Then Duesenberg saw that, and they're like, hey, you've got some talent. If we give you food and board, and you build these 2 cars, you can drive one next year.
Yeah.
So he built the cars. They actually built them there's an old building that burnt down recently over by the Indianapolis Zoo.
Okay.
All brick building. It was next to the railroad tracks. Well, they built the cars in the 2nd floor.
Yeah.
And the machine shop was on the 1st floor. Then they put a hole in the wall and ramped them out of the building.
Oh, no way.
And brought them over to the Speedway. Well, they get to the Speedway, get them in the garage and everything. Gets there the next day. Duesenberg's like, I got to sell the cars.
This is 28?
28.
So he ain't going to drive.
Well,
but the story is, I'm shortening this because I just want to make a small one. But long story short, his buddy, who's a mechanic.
Basically a guy that just showed up just to kind of help out, be the gopher.
Yeah.
Turned out his family was pretty wealthy.
And they're like, we can just buy a car.
Yeah.
And so we did, and they won.
Okay,
and that was 1928.
28.
And it was first there in 26. So this is kind of neat. I just thought this was fun, hanging out with Mike and his dad, Butch, that in what, 4 years, your family will have been part of the Indy 500 for a century.
Yes.
So I said at lunch, was this before or after the not so dick pic?
This was after.
Okay,
This was
after the not so dick pic, I said we need to get a car and make it to the Indy 500 before
Exactly.
26 again,
Yeah.
400 years.
We need to be on the starting grid for the.
I think we can do
500.
that.
Yeah.
So if there's any wealthy people out there, they're like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. But that's not why we're here today. Yeah. We're here for another piece of fun history that I think is close to your dad's heart.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And we're gonna build this thing together.
Yeah.
Let's go check it out. What do we got?
Well,
Come on, come on, come on.
it's a little buried.
Scott, camera guy, can you actually see what's even in here?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so Mike, I know what we got here, but what is this the start of?
This is the tacked together framework of a Watson Roadster.
Yes.
Watson Indy Roadster. So
It's like late 50s, early 60s.
some of them, one of the most iconic cars to run at the Speedway. Won many years.
Primarily front engine, 4-cylinder Offenhausers.
Yep. And it's the start of a really exciting project.
Yeah. So guys, that's what's going on. Is like our side project. We're gonna build it, and I think we're calling it the Meyer Putsch Special.
Yes.
2022. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So everybody thought the Indy Roadsters were dead a long time ago, and we decided they still got a few swings left, and maybe some mischievous, hooliganizing road courses with it as well.
Oh yeah.
So you guys will have to stay tuned for what we got. But today we're gonna get the frame out. There's body work. There's seat. There's a rear end. There's axles. There's flanges. There's blueprints.
Blueprints. Yeah.
So how cool is this, you guys? Okay, it's 2022. Gosh, what was it? 65 was basically when the last Roadsters were really running.
That piece of wood
Yeah.
that's underneath the motor plate here
Yeah.
was Watson's original template for his motor plates. So it's a neat little bit of history.
Yeah, definitely. So what is this? 57 years after they last ran?
Yeah.
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 Basically. So 57 years later, us silly people
Yeah.
on the side decided to get it back out. I think there's a few swings left. So we've got a couple of tweaks. We're going to keep it period, but we're going to do some cool stuff. It's like this. Right? I thought about this the other
Yeah.
day. So sprint cars now, right?
Yeah.
If you look at a sprint car right now, you can see the direct lineage from where they came from in the 60s.
Well, this is when men were men
Yeah.
and garage ingenuity was at its finest.
Yes.
You know, you could make the Indy 500 with something you built in a garage like this.
Yes, it's not a spec series that you
Yeah.
have to buy into, which is difficult and frustrating. But while we're trying to do difficult and frustrating things of breaking into modern Indy car racing, we're going to go old school and build an Indy Roadster this year. And we'll see with the future. Maybe we'll get to build some more together.
Oh yeah.
But it's kind of neat because sprint cars evolved, from the 60s. You can see the direct lineage to now.
Yeah.
But Indy cars, there's no direct lineage. I mean, it's totally gone a separate way. But it's kind of neat because if Indy Roadsters, and even if, the rear engine ones, if they kept going and we stayed more like the Indy Roadster, which is kind of like a sprint car, but for going faster back in the day, and then we evolved that into Indy cars, what would that be today? Yeah. So we're still going to keep this very period because we want to represent the time period, but make it cool. So I think we got to start unpacking stuff.
Yes.
Get it on the table.
It's
Yes. Do you want to look around? Go look around. Look around. Mikey, I know what we got here, but what do we got here?
got a Watson Indy Roadster frame and a few fiberglass body panels.
Yeah.
So good start to a awesome project.
Let's see what we got. You already saw one of them, right?
Yeah.
You want to open that up? Yep. So some other interesting things on the way home. So we're going to build this year. We're going to call it Meyer Putsch Special.
Yes.
Go old school. It's going to be fun. We've got some great things in mind that we can do oval things, take place in some Indianapolis history, but we want to be able to run our road course because I think most people don't really realize that Roadsters did run on road courses a few times back in the day.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's really cool. So we got some pictures, we got some blueprints, we got enough to build a Roadster.
Yeah.
You excited?
Oh, I'm way excited.
What do you think your dad will do walking and see a car sitting here?
I can make him smile in the morning. For sure, yeah.
That's super cool. Now, I learned something amazing. We got to talking about Mike's great-grandfather, and I said, so what do you think it was about him that made him win all the races? Was he just a badass? And then we got into, well, I think he had some talent and stuff. And then what was the interesting piece of history about your great-granddad as first three-time winner of the Indy 500 that most likely attributed to his wins?
Well, he had 6 toes on his throttle foot, so he was a masher.
And you're not even kidding. That actually was a thing.
That was a thing, yeah. I remember I was, I think, 12 years old, and, you know, you're told the story. Well, he was in his recliner chair half asleep, had no socks on, and I'm like trying to, you know, I didn't want to be weird about it, but, you know, I'm just looking. But no, yeah, 6 toes on the throttle foot. And I even, Donald Davidson, I stumped him, I think it was about 15 when I called into his radio show. And he couldn't answer what Indy 500 champion had 6 toes on his throttle foot. So, yeah.
And here I always thought the best mutation was 3 balls.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
you know.
All right, you want to come around and look at this thing a little more? All right, what do we got here? Is this picture of an original frame or something he already, made?
I think that's an original frame there.
That's interesting. So we can remake these out of aluminum on a future car if we want, but we might as well use this since we got it.
Yeah. No, we'll...
Did they ever get... They were all aluminum back in the day. Did they ever get to punching these out in fiberglass towards 65?
Well, there was a car, actually, it was the Simon's Special, and it was the first all fiberglass bodied Roadster.
Oh, okay.
That's up at Steve Truchin's in Gary, Indiana. He's got the first car crashed, and the body was destroyed, but they had a second body that was in the Simon's warehouse or whatever, and he got that, and he's building the frame for it and everything.
All right, cool. Yeah. So this thing has lots of room in the cockpit, theoretically.
Oh, yeah.
Except for feet. We got to figure that out.
Well, a little foot box action, for sure.
All right, so what do you want to tell them we have in mind without letting too many surprises out?
Well, I mean, we're going to... It'll be very well horsepowered. It'll be super light. I think it'll end up being lighter than the sprint car. So
What do you think, 1150, 1200?
I think less than that.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
Really?
yeah. I think we'll be at 1,000 pounds.
I'm saying 1150.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a challenge.
Well, it depends on if we run real mag wheels or not. If we do the aluminum ones or real mags.
I guess that's a good point.
Yeah.
And we're thinking about sticking a gearbox on it, though.
Yes. Well, that would add, the gearbox, so we can not only do roundy rounds.
Yes.
Yes. Fly through the air on the old road course action.
Oh, at like Grattan?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I really want to enter this in a vintage race against a bunch of guys in like Brabham Formula Bs because it'll look like this.
Well, it'll be like that picture with AJ Foyt at Milwaukee.
Yeah.
In the dirt car with all the rear engine cars. So, yeah.
Yeah. He put IndyCar tires and wheels on his sprint car.
He crashed his rear engine car, and they had just come from a dirt race, and put the IndyCar wheels and tires on his dirt car and put it on the pole at Milwaukee against all rear engines. So.
Was it 65?
Man,
6.
I don't know the year. I have to look it up.
One of those two, I think.
I just remember the picture. It's such an iconic picture.
Now, Mikey, there's a little cutout on the side over here. So the gentleman that started this did this because he was thinking he might end up sticking a V8 off to the side.
Yeah. I'm going to look at a few of the cars. Like, we need to go over to the museum and do some measuring and stuff. But, with our engine package, I think I'm going to go ahead and just bring this tube across.
I like it that way. It's more pure by doing a 4-cylinder stuck over there.
Yeah.
But then, you think you should see if your dad can work any magic to get his dream Psycho engine for this?
He's trying.
That'd be
He's
some
trying.
magic, though, wouldn't it? People kind of like those engines.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're very special. So we'll. We have the connection. We'll just see if we can make it happen.
Okay.
So.
Well, hopefully the connection watches this, and your dad's like, "You gotta."
Well, we're gonna let him watch it.
If we get that engine, are we gonna put a gearbox on that too?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah. All right. Well, did you see the newest Mandalorian? The new Mandalorians?
Oh yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
He gets a new ship. It's a pre-Empire Naboo starfighter, Hoopty.
Oh.
So this is our pre-Spec series split Roadster?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We're gonna be looking for all the, custom parts and making it a little. It's gonna be period, but it's gonna have some, some good stuff, little add-ons.
Proper badassery.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if the Roadsters actually got to continue, like sprint cars evolved into what they are today, and if Roadsters got to continue into new Roadsters.
For sure.
But without all that sissy modern safety crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I go, like in the museum, you go there and like, they're long, but you see it on the table here with the bodywork. It's long. Yeah.
It is long. Although we're definitely putting a fuel cell in it.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
You gotta have a little bit of safety.
That safety can stay.
Yeah.
Okay, fuel cell.
Ever since when my dad got burned in '84 or '85, it's you gotta.
Well,
not,
we
not
know
good.
people that.
Yeah.
But it looks so good with just a little roll hoop.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, when you were sitting in there, your head's way below that.
Good. We can lower it.
Well,
my butt.
Well, the thing is there's hoops on the bottom as well. Mm-hmm. So the seat can
it'll
go
be
a little
lower.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Oh, it's gonna be nice.
Oh, well, let me get in this thing. I want to see how low it gets. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It goes down another near 2 inches?
I bet you. Yeah, I bet you the seat will go another 2 inches lower.
I'm wrecking everything.
It's just like a big bomber seat. World War II bomber seat. So this goes lower.
Oh yeah, you got
Like here, there with a helmet. So if I slouch,
you got 10 inches to the top.
right down on the windscreen.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. No, that's gonna be perfect.
So normally they would put a engine plate right about here, right?
Yes.
And so the guys would be all squished up in there and driving it like this.
A little bit, yeah.
And you might have a hand clutch.
You have the hand clutch. Yep.
So we want 3 pedals. We're gonna have to do something fancy with your feet way off to the side because it'll be next to the motor.
Yeah. Once we get the motor in there, we're gonna get the motor shoved over as far as we can to the left. Then we'll have, being for its road course as well, we'll have the oil tank. It's gonna have an onboard starter, so we'll have the battery. Have a good radiator, but we'll make sure the weight is equal for this car for the road course. But yeah, no, we'll be able to maximize the foot space for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna look at something here. Got enough room. Drive shaft. You just got your elbow up.
Yeah.
Tire will be like right here.
Oh yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, that's the surprise. So we're at Legacy Autosport in the greater Indianapolis, Indiana area. Obviously, my shop's back in Ohio, so I'm going to be doing my builds and have Genius Garage students. Is also a shout out for Genius Garage students if you want to be part of like master's program with the Lotus Exosphere or the Daytona prototype or the sprint car and lots of cool things this year. But this is going to be our project just for fun.
This is Genius Garage Skunk Works.
No, this is us. Genius Garage, you guys own stuff, man. Damn, let's have a little fun for ourselves.
Okay, it'll be the Meyer Putsch Skunk Works.
Yes.
We'll do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Emphasis on the skunk. Do you have 6 toes?
No.
3 balls?
Could be.
Anything interesting going on? I don't want to know what Mikey's got under the hood. All right, on that note, I hope you guys subscribe and look forward to seeing you next time.